We live? We should be good. Oh yeah, I forgot to mic check. Oops. I think we're good. We're good. Okay. Audio. I should be fine. Dun, dun. All right. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Tweet. We're live. The Discord. Okay, we're good. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? I'm not emotionally okay after watching that episode. It'd be like that sometimes, soft. But what's up, guys? That episode. Ugh. Okay. So, I'm feeling a lot of emotions right now about this entire episode, right? Episode 20 and 21. Last episode and this episode are both extremely intense. Very anxiety-inducing. Everything was, like, very suspenseful. Kept you on your toes watching, right? Even though I know what's gonna happen, it still has that pull to it that just makes you think, like, holy shit, this is some scary stuff going on. This is serious. This is nuts, right? That's at least how that shit makes me feel. That's how I felt about it anyways. But that episode, man, episode 21, that was a really good episode. I'm glad that they didn't have the ending play and they had the credits on screen and just had the and they just had like the thing on screen, the credits on screen, and just they continue talking. Because pretty much this episode has like no downtime and things going on. The only downtime is the opening, which is the first like minute and 20-30 seconds of the episode. And then they have the eye catcher that's like 10 seconds. Not even. It's like 5 seconds of them showing the stand card for King Crimson. But yo, this episode is pretty OD. We're going to have screenshots now on screen. One of the highlights I want to talk about real quick while we're like just now starting this shit, before I forget, is I love the way they handled showing King Crimson's time ability. I just want to say this scene right here at the very beginning of the episode, this is showing Giorno when he answers the call from Bucciolati, which happened at the end of last episode, right before he got hit. So like they show all that stuff again. They kind of like do a brief recap of it. But the way that they show King Crimson, it's like Abbacchio's talking to Giorno. He's like, "Hey, don't step on that on the land." But it skips right before he can finish his sentence, and you see the screen like glitch out, and the music stops, and shit, and it gets all glitchy on the screen, and then all of a sudden he's right next to Giorno grabbing his shoulder, and he's like, "What?" And he's confused about it too. Like, that was the first thing that happened in the episode, aside from Narancia eating all the chocolates and then blaming it on Mista, pulling a Patrick there like in SpongeBob. It was really great. But the way that they showed it off, and this shit, them actually showing it and explaining King Crimson, I think this is like a really good explanation for King Crimson. Like, I'm so happy that they didn't mess it up with the English translations and the subtitles and shit. Good job, guys. But they did a really good job, IMO, explaining King Crimson and showcasing the way the ability works. I like that they show just everything else turning into space, and the red projections are what he sees in the future with Epitaph, and then, you know, the blue is like the current Bucciolati. I thought that was really good. It's a great way, because normally in the games and stuff they use a red color to show King Crimson when it goes into the time erasure. Erasure, I think erasure is the word for it. A time skip moment. It's pretty sick. What's up, Mo? How you doing? And yeah, you can send it to me, Johnny. You can send it on Discord. But I do like that they handled the time skip this way. I think it's really good. It's straightforward and to the point. It's not confusing at all. So hopefully nobody is confused about King Crimson's ability anymore. I think everybody should just be clear on what exactly went down. And this episode, man, it really was intense. Like, extremely intense, dude. This scene right here, Bucciolati getting chopped, they had Diavolo's hand, King Crimson's hand rather, through Bucciolati's chest for a good 10 seconds with just blood gushing out of his mouth and like through his chest, and that's all you saw for like 10 seconds straight. That's some good shit right there, man. Yeah, by now, the How Does King Crimson Works memes should just be dead. I don't want to see anybody complain or question the standability anymore. It was never even super complicated to understand. It's just back in the day, we had bad translations for JoJo, so it wasn't as well explained. And not only did we have bad translations, but the scans looked bad also, so it was just like really weird to kind of tell what was going on. And that's where the whole meme became a thing. But I'm glad that it's like not a thing anymore. It shouldn't have been a thing. It's just one of those things where it just happens because, you know, it's just a thing of the moment. Can't really do much about it. But now everything is clear. The anime is super amazing at explaining shit. And this entire sequence of Bucciolati's just willpower carrying him on, because he's pretty much dead at this point, at least in his dying state, after getting basically chopped almost in half from his shoulder through his chest. Like, look at how deep that wound goes. It almost goes to his crotch. If it would have gone to his crotch, it would have just cut into 2 pieces. And that would be OD. He would just immediately be like, well, I'm dead. You know? That shit is crazy. But I do like the way that they showcase how serious Bucciolati is about everything, and the fact that he's like, no, I'm sticking to this plan. I'm determined. The fact that he was ahead of Diavolo and getting himself out of there, even though Diavolo thought because he could see into the future that he was going to win, he was going to kill Bucciolati. Bucciolati's like, nope, you missed the point of my attack. It was like, shit like that is just, it's so sick. It's so sick. It was so good. Also, the King Crimson shots in this episode look great. I love seeing it in action. I love seeing how angry it is. Like, this shot is really good right here. You can really tell how pissed off it is. And Epitaph is mad as shit. It's very angry. Exactly. King Crimson doesn't have a bad face at all. He's just an angry boy. Like, people are trying to say that King Crimson looked ugly last week, and I'm like, you are smoking something very strong that is making your brain just think things and hallucinate or some shit, because honestly, King Crimson looks really good in the anime. And if anybody dislikes Bruno, please just never speak to me, block me, unsubscribe. Don't speak to me ever, ever, ever. Because Bucciolati has always been a really good character. He's always been amazing. And then just like seeing this episode, man. This episode just encapsulates the whole entirety of Bruno's character, IMO. And it does a really good job of showing that he finds himself to be the righteous one and in the right in what he's doing. And he is. He's 100% in the right in what he's doing. Because Diavolo is a really messed up guy. He's a bad guy, you know? The shot when King Crimson had that ass-eating face. Dude, this shot right here, just the close-up of his eye is, like, so freaky. People should read Purple Haze feedback. Soft, 100%. They need to start reading it. I once knew a guy who said that Bruno was more of a boring shonen pro tag. Yo, Corner, whoever said that is, like, really stupid, honestly. Bruno's probably the best character in Vento Aureo as a whole. Like, just the best written character. He's not my favorite. I'm always going to say this is my favorite. But favorite and best are 2 different things. People have to learn how to separate their favorite from the best. So, I just wanted to throw that out there because I know people try to bend what I'm saying or say I said something else. And it's like, no, it's not that deep. Bruno's just the GOAT. So, that entire sequence of Bruno fighting Diavolo, really good. Them explaining King Crimson's time skip, stupid good. Amazing. I love it. Nobody should be complaining about anything. Nobody should be confused anymore at this point. That was very clear. My God, I forgot how loud that sound is sometimes. Katie Jablonski, thank you for subscribing. Hello. Welcome. That sound always catches me off guard. I forget that that's my sound effect. I need to change it. Let's listen to some Marvel music. Clock Tower is really good. I think we listened to this last stream. I'm not sure. This is like one of my favorite tracks ever. It's super good. It's hard to pick which is the best character in Part 5. I feel that. A lot of them are really good. I feel like Fugo is one of the guys that is the harder one to say is like your favorite. Well, not say is your favorite, because if he's your favorite just off of design, characteristics, his one fight, whatever it may be, then by all means go ahead. But I feel like for me, he's the one that I would least gravitates towards. Just because I wish that he did more on screen, but I understand why he didn't. Everybody should. Purple Haze feedback out. Go read that after you read part 5. I got scared again. that sound catches me so off guard. Over here bumping to the song, listening to chat. Or listening to the song and reading the chat. I can't listen to the chat. And then that catches me off guard. Be like that. People do sleep on Abaccio. I slept on Abaccio also at a point. And then I reread part 5 to make more videos on it before the anime even got announced, because I was like, I want to talk about part 5. Let me refresh myself. And then I talked about Abaccio. I almost said Bucciolati. I have talked about Bucciolati before. Bucciolati's great. But I talked about Abaccio, and I sat down and I was like, you know, I was harsh on him at first, but he's really good. And I don't want to say the anime has done him like justice yet, because we still have one more crucial part in his character, but he's definitely underappreciated. You want to miss this hat? You can go on, like, I don't know, Google that shit and buy the cosplay hat. I'm guessing Raphael, the part 5 took long because they just wanted it to look good, and I mean, it looks amazing, so I'm glad they took their time with it. It was like 2 years though. Oh, I'm sorry, Abaccio. I always say Abaccio for some reason. And yeah, Corner, that Dragon Ball shit is mad hype. Arrow Swing, thank you for subscribing. Hello. I see you in chat, by the way. But yeah, that Toei animation is pretty, the Toei animation and, like, Funimation announcement, the Dragon Ball thing, whatever they're teasing is probably going to be mad sick. Can't wait. Yeah, that's because Fugo's stand is the deadliest, and it would be, like, one of the easiest ways to get rid of the boss. But he can't target who he wants to attack with it. And he doesn't, like, the thing with Fugo is he can't target who he wants to attack, right? So he doesn't want to hurt the guys, because, you know, those are his boys. But he also doesn't want to go against the boss, because that's just not his thing. So, in the end, Fugo is left in, like, a really tricky situation where he can't really, like, he doesn't want to leave his friends behind, but he can't go against his boss. And unfortunately, he has to leave his friends behind because he can just kill everybody, including himself. And that's what sucks about it. That scene is really good, man. This whole boat scene with Bucciolati, when they get out after Giorno finds Bucciolati and stuff, and he tries to heal him, quote unquote, because you guys know what happens. I'm not going to spoil anything for anime onlys. Just know that, at least pay attention to Bucciolati, because there's some context clues on stuff that's going on and more shit that's happening to Bucciolati. And more stuff that you'll be seeing for sure as the part goes on. There's some crazy stuff going on, man. Yeah, Fugo's not a coward by any means. He's just loyal to the boss, you know? And he has reasoning. He's like, you guys are gonna get yourself killed, and you guys are putting yourself in a very bad, you're putting yourself in, like, a very, bad situation, because, like, now you're gonna be enemies against everybody for probably the rest of your lives within the gang, and you don't really have a safe haven. And that's what sucks about it. Also, why are you guys arguing in chat? What the hell? Y'all niggas better chill. Relax. But yeah, I agree, Ray. Him staying behind is really good for his character. And definitely in the anime, they made that scene hurt more. This entire last boat sequence with Narancia saying, you know, he's Trish. And, like, him understanding how she probably feels about everything. And him swimming out onto the boat. Like, that whole thing... that hurt. I cried. I actually cried. For like a minute, I was like, damn, that's some sad shit. But that's it. That shit hurt, man. It hurt a lot. It was really good, though. It was a good type of cry. Because it really makes you feel that emotional pull, again, that Fugo's feeling. And everybody else, too. Because, like, Fugo immediately is like, you know, I'm not going to go with you guys. I don't think anybody else is going to go with you guys. And Abachio's like, yeah, that's true, but I don't have anything else to do. So I'm just going to go with you anyways. And shout out to Abachio for that. He's the first guy to get up and be like, yeah, you know, I'm going to just stay with you anyways because I don't have anywhere to go to. I don't have anybody. I don't have a home, is what he says. And then Mista's the next guy to go up. And I love Mista's comment. He's like, you know, of course I'm going to go with Bucciolati. This is a perfect opportunity. And besides, whatever happens, if we do beat the boss, I'm the next one that's going to become a capo. Like, Mista's immediately like, you know, I'm really good. I'm strong. I'm skillful. I'm totally capable of doing what Bucciolati's doing right now if we beat the boss. That's really good. Yeah, we do get a recap episode next week, and then after that, we're going to get Squalo and Tigiano. We're going to get Clash and Talking Head, the Shark Soup, the toilet stall scene is going to be funny. Everything is going to be really good. I can't wait. And the way they end off the episode is pretty interesting, too. But back to all the boat stuff. It was all really good. Abachio, like, talking about how he only feels, like, peaceful when he's around Bucciolati is really nice. Shows that he really cares about the guy a lot. Even though before that, when Fugo mentions how stupid the idea is, Abachio immediately is like, yeah, you realize that we're loyal to the boss and the organization, not you, right? And then Abachio immediately after that is like, but whatever, I like you, so I'll stay with you. It's like, nice. They're probably doing recap episodes because of, I don't know, maybe the way they want to market this when they put it on like Blu-rays or DVDs and things like that. It's really not that big of a deal. I don't mind the recap episode. Cause the recap is just like, it's fine. Not now, Aeroswing. We're still talking. We've only been going for 16 minutes. I have a lot more shit to say about this episode. I'm just going over everything that went on. But the recap episode means that they get a break if they still have things to touch up on for animation and things like that. It gives them a bit of a break. So they can just, you know, they can do more. If there were 50 episodes of this instead of the 39 we have right now, I don't think it would be like, I don't know. It would drag on too long if it was 50 episodes. I think the pacing is pretty fine. It's like right now we're at halfway. And we still have like 5 more fights to go. And those 5 fights are going to take a while to kind of just go through everything. And the manga in general for Vento Aureo is extremely fast paced because everything just happens back to back to back. Yeah, when we get to Notorious B.I.G., that's going to be really good. We finally get to see Trish do stuff. That's going to be really sick. I can't wait. That's coming up soon. Back to the end of the episode. I love Mista's little comment to Giorno about Bucciolati. He's like, you know, Bucciolati wouldn't take this up if he wasn't ready for it. Bucciolati doesn't go into fights that he knows he can't win. And that was a nice little touch to show that, like, it's part of the fact that everybody else is... Just like to show the part of everybody else is still very confident and Bucciolati, and they trust him a lot. Even though they know that they're in treason and they're now traitors to the gang. It's really nice. Part 3 had 48 episodes, and it's about the same length as Part 5 of the manga. We know the meme about Part 3's anime's poor pacing. That's because a lot of episodes in, a lot of fights, rather, in Part 3 were like 2-part fights, like 2 episodes, when some of them could have been 1. But it'd be like that. B.I.G. is going to be a fast fight. It's going to be like an episode, maybe like 1 full episode in like the first like 5 minutes of a next episode. And it'll end off like that. Kind of like how Babyface did. Going into White Album. This episode was extremely good, dude. This scene right here, after Bucciolati gets like struck down, and Giorno has like the slight distraction with the brooch against Diavolo, makes Diavolo retreat for a little bit, and gives him the opportunity, you know, from putting Diavolo into the turtle to let Bruno move just a little bit. Him screaming out Trish, man, there was so much power in his voice when he screamed out Trish. That shit was crazy. Like, I felt that in my soul. It was so good. Not yet, Soft. Not yet. They're almost here. You gotta wait 2 weeks. You gotta wait 2 weeks. Who else have I not talked about? We talked about Narancia. Narancia's whole entire sequence just, like, made me feel so, so sad. And the fact that they end everything off with Fugo saying, like, you guys are gonna kill yourselves. You guys are gonna get killed. Man. Crazy shit. Spoilers here, but foreshadowing for some stuff. And that made me sad, because he's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. That made me very upset, though. The fact that he's not wrong about the situation. It's a big oof, man. It's a big oof. Makes me very sad. I'm gonna point out how weird that entire movement of Bruno trying to carry Trish on the stairs was. In terms of, like, how it looked. Because he's, like, you know, kind of limping and just trying to, like, carry her. Which, props to him for pulling that off. With that much blood loss, I'm sure his body isn't strong enough to keep going. But he made it work. He made do. And carrying a whole-ass person is, like, you know, really hard to do. I don't know if they'll animate Purple Haze feedback. It's all good, David. You just gotta think about the whole situation, you know? It's like, he's kind of like trying to drag her on. He's trying his hardest. There's not much he can even do in the first place. He's already hurt extremely bad. Like, he has a mortal wound. He's literally, like, you know, supposed to be dead, but her. Things happen. It's a manga. So it'd be like that. Oh, the body swaps are going to be really great. I can't wait for that at all. Honestly, when they get to that point, that's going to be sick. That entire, like, segment of Part 5 is really good. Because we're going to be meeting a character soon that I don't want to give away. Because, you know, I don't want to give away for anime-onlys that might come back and look at this later that aren't here right now. Or anybody in here right now that is anime-only. But we're going to be seeing an old friend pretty soon. And when we get to see this old friend, that's when things get really interesting. Broke his arm is not even... That's an understatement, okay? When he got gut punched last week, you could hear like a spine crack sound effect right through his like back and shit, because he got, you know, punched right through the spine. You heard that, him getting chopped, and it's just like Bruno's body is just in shambles. It's not... He's not okay. He's a very powerful man for putting up with that shit. Even Diablo's like, yo, you're literally not supposed to be working right now. How are you, like, walking and shit? Are you really doing this off of just your willpower? And it's like, yes, he is indeed. And it's extremely impressive that he can do that, because it shouldn't be physically possible at all or happen. But, you know, manga. Someone with a bad spine that hurt me more than the average person. Dude, I've got scoliosis. My scoliosis isn't bad. It's like a small, like, curve in my spine. But back problems are not fun. So I feel that. Thing is, the chop was really deep. Yeah, the chop was deep and far. He literally almost got cut completely in half. It went from his shoulder halfway down his chest and, like, through his abdomen. Almost at his crotch. Like, he literally almost got cut completely in half. That shit is OD. It's ridiculous. I'm not bothered by the opening not changing yet. When the opening changes, it'll change, and it'll be really good. And they're saving the change for reasons, and that's because it doesn't fit yet. Because just off of the name alone, it's got Requiem in it. You guys know what that word means. Things are going to happen. That's not going to happen for a while. So, they got to save that, man. It's going to change in like 2 weeks. I know we've been saying for like the last like 3 weeks, oh, the opening will change soon. But it'll probably actually change within like 2 more weeks. Just wait. It'll be 120 billion% worth it. because it's gonna be super good. I'm imagining. At least I hope it's as good as Fighting Gold. It should be better. I want it to be better. If it's not better than Fighting Gold, I'm gonna just be disappointed. Expect the opening to have a shit ton of violins. Dude, I want there to be like some crazy guitar in it. It's like Fighting Gold. Fighting Gold is just like stupid good. They kept the outro in these last 2 episodes of What I Died. Yeah, no, for things like this, JoJo knows when to take itself seriously. You know, they can't have freaking you in an episode like this. Especially when they're using the fact that they're not going to use the ending at all to have more stuff on screen because, like, they have to cover more shit that's going on. You want it to be edgy? I want it to be, like, elegant and, like, good. Fighting Gold is, like, powerful. You hear it and you get all, like, excited and you're all like, yeah! I want the next opening to be, like, calming, but also exciting at the same time. If that makes any sense. Oh, you guys are funny. You guys are funny in chat. You guys are funny. Freaking you in erase time. It's just gonna skip. Every time I horny. That's how it sounds. It just skips. Am I ready for the 7-page Muda? Hell yeah. When we get to Green Day and Oasis, that's gonna be sick. That's gonna be really good, honestly. I don't blame you, David. I want the new opening really bad, and I feel like I'm gonna be prepared for it and excited, but at the same time, like I am excited, but I like Fighting Gold so much. It's gonna be weird getting used to hearing it. Green Day is gonna be amazing. Yeah, 1 minute of Muda, 40 seconds. Probably between 40 seconds and 1 minute. Yeah, I'd say that's a sweet spot for it. Oh yeah, that's a good point. There is no La Squadra in any of the openings. I mean, that's kind of cool because they wanted to keep their identity, but like all the other openings tease villains and shit like that all the time. Like Part 3's opening too literally has like all the villains in the part, like in the opening. You can see all their silhouettes and shit. You see like Alessi's shadow crawling up the stairs and things like that. You reread Green Day and Oasis fight. I forgot most of it. I have a joke for it. Are you guys ready? Trash cans. There's your joke. The fallen nibbers from La Squadra. Get an F in the chat. I'll give an F in the chat for that. Yeah, the cover for the new song does look really good, Corner. I agree. Journal looks really sick in it. This episode was OD. What? There's a trash can. You know? I'm making jokes. The trash can. Oh, Metallica fight? Soccer. I can't wait. He'll pass the ball over here. Okay. And he passes the ball. It's a really good time. I like playing soccer with the boys. You know? Me and the boys playing soccer. Oh, they'll be there. They'll be there soft. Also, they came out with a height chart. And Risotto is like 6'7", I guess. That makes him like the tallest JoJo character that's just like an ordinary ass human. JoJo vs. Steely Dan is 22 seconds of auras and it was 3 pages. Yeah, that aura beatdown is like ridiculous. Yeah, I saw it like today. Apparently, he's 6'6", but that's by calculations. He's still bigger than everybody else. Like, he's huge. If he is like 6'6", 6'7", then he's like the biggest character, I think, in JoJo. I don't think anybody's taller than that. Like, even the Joestars are like 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2". But like the earlier Joestars, like, you know, Jonathan, Joseph, and Jotaro, they're huge. Like, they're super swole. Not even just ripped. They're swole and they're ginormous. But Jonathan is like 6'2". Jonathan is just like wide. He's got huge shoulders, huge arms. People are calculating we might get to Green Day by episode 27. We're at episode 21 right now, and we have to get to 39 episodes. So, and that's like one of the last few fights right before the end. So I think it'll be a little longer than that. What about Cars? Cars is like swole too, but Jonathan, when you talk about Jonathan, Jonathan is like a football player. You know, he's built. He's a huge guy. Very tall, very strong. Massive lad. Extremely powerful. Absolutely huge. When do you think part 6 will get animated? I think spring 2020. We can be hopeful. We can be hopeful. What about Tarkus? Oh yeah, Tarkus is really big. Tarkus is like a giant though. He's like he's an outlier, you know? He's an exception in comparison to most other characters. It took 2 years for part 5 after part 4 because they made it good. But it was also 2 years from part 3 to part 4, I think. Bamu is the tallest pillar man. He's over 7 feet. AC/DC is pretty big also. '22 to '23 Clash and Talking Heads. '24 to '25. Oh no, 22 is a recap episode. Next week's episode is gonna be recap. So it would be like 23, 24 is Clash and Talking Head. 25, 26 is BIG. 27, 28 is Metallica. 29, 30. Maybe 29 to 30. 29 to 31 would be Green Day and Oasis. The recap isn't part of the 39 episodes planned. What do you mean? Are they gonna go over 39 episodes? It makes no sense. I'm confused. Maybe I'm just stupid and I'm reading this wrong. It's like a 21 and a half. Oh. Well, wasn't the other one also like, it was like what, 14 and a half or something? 13 and a half, 12 and a half, whatever episode number it was. I don't even remember. But just going off of like numbers, sure. Because I'm just counting like all the actual episodes. Okay. But nah, recap episodes aren't bad. When done right, the JoJo's recap episodes are fine. They're good. Koichi's probably like not in Italy anymore. He's gone. He was probably only there for like he was supposed to only be there for like a week, I think, anyways. Well, actually no, he's still there cuz it's only been like 3 days since they left. I forgot. It's only been a couple days. So, yeah, maybe Koichi is still in Italy. Sightseeing, eating ice cream, eating pasta. How long would part 6 take? Like episode wise? I can see it being around like 39, 40 episodes, 41 episodes also. Cuz a lot of fights in part 6 happen really fast. A lot of part 6 fights happen really fast. Which, by the way, guys, I've recorded my commentary for my part 6 quote-unquote review. Basically me just being like, hey, I think it's really good. People bash it too much. That video, the what makes part 6 good. video. I recorded the commentary for it, so I'll be editing that probably tonight, tomorrow morning, tomorrow. It'll potentially be out by Sunday, maybe Monday or Tuesday. I don't know, but I do have the commentary recorded for that, so that'll be coming out soon. Part 6 was the last opening part that was shown in Sono Chino Sadame. Did they? I thought they showed Johnny in that opening. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've looked at it. Part 6 100% deserves love. I love how good King Crimson looks in the anime, but some of his faces look like he shit himself. It's this guy here, so I don't know if you talked about it. Yeah, I did talk about King Crimson earlier. I think it looks really good. And I think that's what they're going for. You know, he's supposed to look real angry and, like, raw. He looks real angry and all raw, so I appreciate that. I think it's really nice. They made him so angry. Why is his head flat? Because it is. I don't know. The King Crimson is, like, extremely angry. They did a good job at showing how much expression King Crimson has when it moves and it talks. Or Diablo talks through it, rather. It's very expressive. It's supposed to show the original Joestars? Probably. It's probably just what they were going for. I don't think there was, like, anything further than that. Oh my god, soft. Might do a slight reference to part 7. Maybe. I wonder if when we get to the end of part 6, if they'll end it the same way the manga does, or if they'll add in an extra scene right after. That's like really short. Kind of how to tease the next part, like they did with part 2 to part 3, where they showed Jotaro in the last like 10 seconds of the last part 2 episode. When they showed Jotaro sitting in the jail cell. I wonder if they'll do that and they'll tease Johnny. I think that would be pretty cool. That's just like wishful thinking, by the way. I doubt it, but that's what at least my ideal thing for it would be. That's how I would do it. I'm tweeting this out again. Let people know we're still going. Imagine Johnny having the part 1 art style. Oh, Johnny in a part 1 art style would be like huge. That would be a man. How is the Steel Ball Run universe made? It just exists. That's it. That's literally it. It has nothing to do with part 6. Nothing to do with anything else. It was just there anyways. That's pretty much it. There's not much else to say about it or explain, because that's literally all it is. It just exists. It's already its own thing. Like, let's say right now there's an alternate universe, you know? It just exists. Nothing needs to happen right now for us to figure out. Well, if we wanted to personally figure out if there was an alternate universe, we'd have to, like, do something to find out. But if it exists, is my point. Hey, let me turn this up. There we go. Not parallel. Because things are different. I mean, I guess you could... Parallel is like a weird word to use for it. It's just there, you know? Like, there's a multiverse. There's multiple universes that exist where different events take place. Yeah, the fan-made Part 7 intro that guy animated is really good. Like, extremely good. That's, that thing is, like, extremely impressive. Yeah, Marvel 2 music is really good. I love using it for videos and streams and stuff. It's just, like, it's impossible to not hear it. It's impossible to hear it and, like, not love it, you know? You gotta be not human. That's how I see it. Oh, Valentine uses the flag and abracadabras it, but that just has to do with his withstand ability. There's 2 JoJo fighting games. Which, by the way, let me talk about this real quick, and then I'm gonna read what Johnny sent me. Point some things out about that. So I always see people that talk about. I always see people talking about whatchamacallit, always talking about Heritage for the Future, right? The 90s Capcom JoJo game. And that game is really fun, and it's cool, and like from a fan standpoint, there's like nice little Easter eggs and references here and there to things in Heritage that are sick, but the actual game is extremely broken, and that game at a competitive level is not fun to watch. Like, it's cool for like a minute, and then people just play the same 2-3 characters and do extremely busted things, and then they ban characters because they're too good in the game. So that game is like actually not that great, and I wish, like, it's overrated, you know? Hot take, whatever. Take it from a guy that plays fighting games for like a bajillion hours all the time and has been doing so for years. Pretty much half of my life at this point, because I'll be 20 at the end of this month, and I've been into the whole competitive fighting game thing since I was 10 is when I got like into it and started watching shit and like learning about games. So yeah, literally half my life has been experience with fighting games. And Heritage is really cool, but it's not as amazing as everybody makes it seem. And I promise, like, playing it with your friends, you'll have a good time, because you're not going to be doing all this super crazy busted shit you probably don't even know about. So like, go look it up, go watch combo videos or something, watch the Japanese people play it. But people need to just stop riding Heritage. I'm sorry. It's not as great as everybody thinks it is. And All-Star Battle is cool too, but it's just slow, man. That's the only problem with All-Star Battle IMO. Because the game has like actual tech and stuff. There are things that you can do there and combos you can learn that are pretty cool and pretty fun, that look nice, but the game just needs polish, and it's way too slow. Way too slow. Even if Arxis made, like, Arxis can't just make every single game ever, you know? As good as Arxis is, I said this before and I'll say it again. Like, Dragon Ball FighterZ is really dope. I love Dragon Ball FighterZ. I play Dragon Ball FighterZ all the time. I love that game. I've played it in tournament, streamed it, played ranked occasionally. I don't play ranked on the game anymore. It sucks. But I spent a ton of hours on FighterZ. It was like my most played game all year last year. I have like 300, 400 hours on FighterZ, playing it in the year. I had my first 100 hours in the first week of the game, so, you know, kind of a crackhead for that game. But like, Arxis can't just make everything magically be top tier. They have things where it's really good, and they're grateful that they're really good, but they're just also not the only fighting game developer that makes games, you know? And people can be all like, oh, well, like, what about Bandai? They don't make good games. You know, Tekken is Bandai. Harada's been at Bandai for who knows how long. Harada's just a genius. If Harada made like a 3D JoJo game that played like Tekken, that would be pretty cool. I know that would be off-putting for a lot of people, because a lot of people would just assume that JoJo would be a 2D anime fighter, but I'd be okay with it being a 3D game, and I don't like 3D games, you know? That's just how much I trust how good Harada could make that game. Smash Ultimate is also Bandai, and Smash Ultimate is really fun and really good, really well made. I appreciate that game a lot. It's a lot better than I think people give it credit for. See, here's the thing with Jump Force, right? And I'll talk about that also, because everybody's complaining about Jump Force. Look, Jump Force, presentation standpoint, graphics, whatever, right? Sure, you can say it's ugly and it doesn't look super interesting, but playing that game, Jump Force is really fun. like, it's actually an extremely fun game to play. Don't knock it until you sit down and you play Jump Force. That game is very fun. There's a lot of cool shit you can do in the game. And, like, the mechanics are fine in Jump Force. Like, it's suffering the Marvel Infinite situation, except the thing with Marvel Infinite and Jump Force was Marvel people just, like, gave up, and the game died before it could even be released. But Jump Force has a lot more casual people catering, you know, towards it. Or rather, the game caters more towards casuals, because it's just a fun Shonen Jump crossover that you can pick up and play with your friends, you know, and have a good time. That and Jump Force has way better marketing than Marvel Infinite ever did, because Bandai's marketing team is really good. I feel that, Ray. I actually think the JoJo Battle Royale thing is a cool idea. I sat down with Medi one day and we watched the gameplay for it. And we were just, like, baffled at how broken Jotaro was. He was literally walking around one-shotting everybody. But I think the concept of it is pretty cool. They just need to balance it more and stuff, you know? I think it's pretty cool. The opening cinematic for Jump Force? I haven't seen it. I gotta sit down and look at it. Yeah, there is a PS2 Part 5 game. I know about it, but I haven't played it yet. I want to, like, sit down and, like, record myself playing it one day and make, like, a video on it. I just haven't done it yet. That's, like, on my to-do list. I'm pretty sure Jump Force has local multiplayer. Yeah, it should. People go ape shit over it because of the lack of some people, like Toriko or Suna. The game has a lot of characters in it, though. It has more characters than they've had in any other Jump game, and I think people are forgetting that. Dio is teased for the Battle Royale, but he's not playable right now. Not yet. Jump Force's release schedule for the characters is kind of wonky. I think it's fine. See, my thing is, a lot of people were making dumb complaints about Jump Force for things that were, of course, going to be in there. Like, I saw people complaining because they're like, oh, too many One Piece characters or Dragon Ball characters. It's Shonen Jump, right? And when you have, I'm talking about playable characters, Abba, not counting assists, because J-Stars has a ton of assist characters in the game. Like, I think like 20-something characters are assist only. Everybody in Jump Force is playable. But there's a ton of people, that are, like, complaining about the oversaturation, quote-unquote, of Dragon Ball or One Piece or Naruto or Bleach in Jump Force. But those are like at least specifically Naruto, One Piece, Bleach is like the big three of Jump, or was the big three rather, while all three of those series were going on. You know, those are like the three big things that everybody went to. And Dragon Ball is Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is always going to be Dragon Ball. It's iconic. You have Toriyama designing characters for that game. Of course they're going to put a ton of those characters in the game. If you think that they're not going to include a ton of those characters any single time they do anything for Jump's anniversaries, then, I don't know, you're stupid. You don't pay attention to Jump enough, clearly. Now, I'm fine with Cell being in the base roster, because even if he was DLC, like, well, there would be no difference. They would just pick a different character and put him in first, because they're still going to be in the game at the end of the day. I think Biscuit is a pretty cool addition for DLC, because the thing with Bisky's a character that you would never expect to see in a game like this. You know? They don't put characters like Bisky in games like this. Like, out of picking just, like, from a series that they already have characters for, they would normally just get, you know, anybody else. Like, they could have put in Meruem or, like, Chrollo or something, and everybody would have been, like, sick, or, like, Leorio even. But they put in Bisky. I think that's really sick, and that's interesting. I want it to be Super Boo. I think Super Boo would be sick. Why was Boa in the game instead of Nami? They already had a lot of Straw Hats, and they've always put Boa in for One Piece rep, which I'm fine with. Boa's like one of my favorite characters. I love Hancock. And she's fun to play as. Any news on that potential Bleach anime? Oh no. Bleach anime is never happening. I gotta pack the bags and just understand that until the day ever comes, if it does show up, where they're like, hey, it's back, then, you know, back. Boa's more fun. Like, Boa from a fighting standpoint, though, is a lot cooler than Nami. Like, moveset-wise. It would just be more fun to have Boa playable over Nami is the thing. Same with Robin. Robin's powers are cool, but I don't know if you guys have ever played any of the other One Piece games, like the Musou games or anything like that. Robin has some, like, cool things with her fruit, but she's not really that fun to play as. Whereas Hancock is a really fun character to play as. And it is cool. I get that people are upset also, like, no Ace. But it is cool that they did include Sabo. I thought that was dope. And then Sanji and Zoro, they never get put into these things, usually. Sometimes Zoro does. But they're usually not always in here. So it's nice that they're actually there. It is the JoJo. We talked about the JoJo episode. We're just talking about Jump now. Because also, people kept yelling about no JoJo in Jump Force. And I kept telling everybody, it's JoJo. JoJo is a big series to Jump. Everything in JoJo up to part 6 was shown in Jump. It didn't switch magazines until Steel Ball Run started. Up until then, JoJo was all Jump, and JoJo was popular as shit, and it still is popular as shit. So of course the characters are going to be in there. So when we had Jotaro and Dio get revealed for Jump Force, there was no surprise to me, you know, because I kept telling everybody, like, you know, like, they're going to be in the game. There's no way they're not going to be in the game. This stream is about whatever. I can fucking put Jump Force discussion in the title right now, and nobody can tell me shit. Yeah, JoJo is coming to Netflix, and that's pretty sick. That's actually, like, mad hype. Because it means a lot more people are going to get to see JoJo. That, like, already just, like, sit down and watch Netflix all day. If they watch anime on Netflix, then they might, you know, they might see it. And it's like, that's pretty sick. Let the normies watch it, dude. Because the thing about that is, more people get into it. That means more people buy things for it. It generates more money. More money means they can do more things. It's just better. Let them do more. That means we get more content for it. That's fine. No, as, like, quote-unquote annoying as it might be, or disappointing to see people, like, ask questions that might be dumb to us because we've been into it for a long time, let them come, let them ask the questions, help them out. Don't be a dickhead. Don't be an asshole. Just let them come in. Just let them come in. You know, you want more people to get into JoJo, because then we get more JoJo anime. It's not like it's guaranteed that they can just keep making JoJo anime. It has to make money. You know? You don't want the JoJo community to get toxic from all these people? They're not going to be the toxic ones. The toxic ones are the ones in the community that don't want them to come in. That's the toxic shit right there. It is corner. It is. It is a damn shame. People at part skip are just dumb. You just don't pay them attention. They try to talk about it. You're just like, oh, you skipped this. It doesn't matter. That's what I say. Thundercross split attack from part 1. That's a good joke. It's a very powerful attack. Like I said, part skippers is just like whatever. Part 5, the most fight-based part. Part 5 and part 3 are pretty much just like fights every 2 seconds. Part 5's pacing is just faster than part 3's. But I still don't think what should I call it? I don't think that part 3 is all that bad at pacing. This music is so good. But no, the whole Netflix JoJo thing is a good thing. I don't think anybody should be like sitting here and like Like, your first thought shouldn't be, oh, ew, people are gonna watch JoJo. No, you should want more people to watch JoJo. Make it more money so that we can get more cool JoJo things. You know? I know people aren't gonna like Part 6's ending, and that's fine. People are gonna say dumb things about it, and that's when I'm gonna get defensive. Yo, when Part 6 anime comes out and it ends, y'all are gonna see a whole different side of me, because I'm just gonna be throwing out L's at anybody and everybody that says anything remotely stupid about it, or anybody that spreads misinformation or says something wrong or acts like a complete dumbass. Yeah, Netflix is adding Phantom Blood first. Phantom Blood and then Battle Tendency. They're doing it in order. I feel a lot of Part 7's fights are weaker than previous and later parts. Disagree. I like that Part 7's fights are like extremely calculated and tactical in like every aspect. Not to say that other fights aren't extremely calculated and tactical, because they are. But now, yeah, when Part 6 ending happens in the anime, I am going to go ham. Absolutely ham on defending that shit. I'm putting on the armor. I'm getting the big-ass shield. I'm getting my sword ready. I'm going to post up like a Dark Souls character. Oh, they are going to take a long time to animate Part 7. There's toxic things in every fandom, though. So, like, people just got to get used to it and deal with it and just ignore things. You know, just learn to ignore things. Because regardless of what you do, people are always going to be idiots. You just ignore shit, block it out. But I want more people to get into JoJo. And, like, the thing with JoJo, niggas, is you have people that... And I hate these people, by the way. I hate this kind of fan, right? That's, like, overly obnoxious about liking the series in the sense that... And, like, any post ever, they're immediately just like, oh, go read or watch JoJo instead. And they, like the people that purposely do this, not people that are, like, joking with their friends and have, like, an in-joke or something... or people that occasionally are like, hey, you should check out JoJo if you like this. Now, I'm talking about the people that go into everything and they're like, that's shit because it isn't JoJo. Or the people that literally only ever talk about how JoJo is better than everything else. Like, those niggas are obnoxious, man. Those niggas are extremely obnoxious. They're toxic as shit. Kind of like an elitist, yeah. That's a good word for it. Like, there's people that like other stuff, but they're just overly obnoxious about trying to force people to like JoJo or enjoy it, and they're like, oh, if you don't like it, then you're wrong, or you're stupid, or this and that. Constantly. And, like, that's just, like, super annoying. I don't fucking like that shit at all. People like that are extremely annoying. Also, the people that try and make it seem like understanding King Crimson makes you God. And makes you a genius. Those niggas are annoying too, because it's not that hard to understand. Just don't be stupid and pay attention, excuse me. Like, I'm not in any, like, groups or anything for, like, people that like JoJo. I don't, like, associate with any of that shit. I just have you guys, right? Whoever watches my videos that likes JoJo, which I'm thankful for you guys. And, you know, whoever's in my Discord is there, but it's not necessarily even like a group thing, you know? Discord is just there for people to just, you know, talk, be friends and shit. Post whenever I make a post on something, you know, if I can't stream, if I am going to stream, you know, a new video, whatever the course may be, you know, I can, like, give that back to you guys. That's what I have that there for. Like, even with the other, like, JoJo guys, like, we're not really in any, like, groups, you know, because, like, people get into those groups and they, like, argue over dumb shit and like start shit all the time, and it's just annoying. We just don't have time for that shit, you know. All of us now that make JoJo content, we're grown. I think X-Force is the oldest out of like me, him, Caleb, and Medi. Caleb is like a year older than me. I'm like probably the youngest. But, like, we're all like now in our 20s. We don't have time for dumb high school drama bullshit over JoJo. So stupid, of all things that you could get into arguments about and complain about. And also, yeah, a ton of people that are like misogynistic and homophobic and like a bunch of other dumb shit in relation to liking it. Or those people that are like, JoJo isn't gay, or like things like that, and they're like so adamant about it. Like, who cares? It's not that deep. Like, stop worrying so much about that shit. You know, it's unimportant. People want to believe things, let them believe things, as long as they're not saying every 2 seconds that it's true, unless it's proven that it's true, or it's left open for interpretation, which in most cases it's left open for interpretation, or there's evidence supporting it. Then, you know, I feel like JoJo has great character writing, but overall the story can be weak at times. The story is pretty straightforward for the most part in JoJo. But JoJo's main appeal is the characters and the stands, in my opinion. I think that's what separates it a lot from other manga. Exactly. People just gotta let JoJo be JoJo. You know, just let it be, let it do its thing. Don't be a sour fucking whatever in the middle of a bunch of sweet people. Probably made no sense as an analogy, but you know what? I'm rolling with it. I'm also about to eat tacos. I have tacos. It's time. Yeah, the whole like ship discourse thing is like my thing with like shipping characters and anything is like, if you want to believe it or you want to do it, go ahead, right? Nobody's going to tell you to stop doing what you're doing, as long as you're not being obnoxious and shoving it down other people's throats and telling them that they're wrong because they disagree with you. If people disagree with you, whatever, just be chill about it, is like my point with any of this. As long as you're chill about shit, then like it's all good. You know? Funny Valentine isn't necessarily bad though, soft. I have videos talking about shit like that. You could like go find them on the channel. Funny Valentine just had different ideas from everybody else. And that's like the whole theme of part 7. Is like everybody's different ideologies. Is what you should subtract from Steel Ball Run. Valentine did nothing wrong, apologists. The only character that shouldn't have apologists for quote-unquote doing nothing wrong is Griffith. Griffith is actually terrible. Fuck Griffith. But it's good that he's terrible. He's supposed to be. He's supposed to be the bad guy and make you pissed at him. And it's good that he's written to make you angry at him. I like that. But, you know, Griffith is actually not a good person. But it's good that he's not a good person, because that's his role. That's his purpose. He's supposed to be the bad guy. Yeah, I don't get people that say that the JoJo art style is ugly either, but again, it is different for everybody. You know, art is the subjective thing. You could look at something and think it's the greatest thing ever, and it could be really simple. You could look at a really complex thing and think that it's bad. It's just up for your own personal interpretation. I think the JoJo art style is amazing. I mean, obviously, I've been talking about JoJo on YouTube for 3 years now. How do I think about King Crimson's ability in the anime? I mentioned it earlier, Dewey. I think it's extremely well handled. They gave a really good explanation. They showcased it off greatly. And they made it very simple and easy to follow. So I'm very thankful that they did a good job with it. Very thankful for it. But yo, we've been streaming for about an hour. That episode is really great. I love talking to you guys. Maybe we'll do more like chill streams where it's like just talking about random shit and not necessarily talking about like anything specifically or like, you know, in particular. And we'll just have a good time. Maybe we'll start doing that. I think that'll be cool. But that's also what Discord is for, which is why I tell people if they ever want to talk to just, you know, say something and that's it. And it'll be great. With that being said, fellas, I think it is time to head out for the night. I'm gonna go eat. We're gonna just chill. I hope everybody else had a great Friday. Thank you for stopping by. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you're watching this at a later point. We do these every Friday at around 10 p.m. Eastern. Somewhere around 10 p.m. After 10 p.m. is when I start setting everything up for the stream and, you know, things like that. So you can look forward to that. You can follow me on Twitter at FreyKugel. Which if you're in the chat and you don't follow me on Twitter already, you should definitely do that. Just for updates, if you want to, you know, ask me questions there, etc., etc. Hop into the Discord, and you can do the same. But yeah, hope everybody has a. Actually, wait. Oh, I forgot one thing. I gotta read the thing that Johnny sent. He says, before everyone turns around after Bruno asks them to make a decision, the anime does a close-up of Fugo biting his lip and showing his anxiety as he's the first one to turn away and ponder what he should do, which isn't in the manga. That is true. After Mista gets in the boat, he specifically asks what Fugo is willing to do, possibly a reference to how they meet up in the beginning of Purple Haze, but that is more speculation. Holy shit, that sound scared me again. Thank you for subscribing, Jalen. I need to change that sound effect to something quieter, or at least lower the sound of the world, because my god, it catches me off guard. The biggest additions are these lines to Fugo's dialogue after Bruno speaks with Narancia and before he starts the boat. Are you serious? You'll be killed without a doubt. There's some things in this world you can't do even if you're right. Our job has always been dirty. How is this any different? And Bruno responds with, even then I can't lie to myself. After Narancia gets on the boat, Mista mentions how Fugo didn't come after all, and Abacho responds by saying that it was his choice in the end, which also isn't in the manga. Yes, those are all extremely true and good points, and I was very happy that all of these things were included, which is why I'm glad that you bring this up again, just to recap it for those that are looking at the end. It could be foreshadowing for Purple Haze feedback, could just be random stuff, whatever it is, I'm glad that it's included because it's really good. And it gives it more emotional pull. I actually cried watching Narancia get on the boat. So yeah, very good episode. Thank you guys so much for coming through. And I'll see you guys next time soon with that Stone Ocean video finally, because I have the commentary and stuff for it recorded and done. Now all that's left is just the editing process for the video, which hopefully doesn't take me too long, and then I'll get it posted sometime within this next week. So, good night everybody. And thanks for stopping by.